Good evening. It is Thursday, March 7th, 2024. This is precisealgorithmtrading.com. And let's dive in and see what happened in the markets today. This is our daily review. This is what we do every day. So, for anybody that comes back all the time, it's pretty redundant, but that's on purpose. It's really just going through doing our homework together, so we can see trends and spot things that are possibly getting ready to happen in the markets. So, and just kind of see where things are. This is the Dow futures. It's the YM, and this is our automated trading. And we've been on this little pullback here lately. Today's trades, there were a few of them. Looks like mostly losers. So hopefully one of these days we get a run of mostly winners like we did there. This is the Russell 2000, the RTY futures contract. And we got a few losers there too. But again, we're looking for like a series of winners like that one. And then the NASDAQ, on the other hand, actually popped up and threw in a new point or equity curve high point. So that's a new high in our equity in the NASDAQ portion of our portfolio. And this is the kind of thing I'm talking about, where we have a few losers and overall winners. And so that's the reason we're diversified in 3 of these, is because they all do different things at different times. That's by design, at least the way we do it. It's nice when they all go up together and all win together. It's not nice when they all lose together. Most of the time they're a little back and forth, and you're looking for the all-in rising equity curve. And that's all automated. All you do with these systems is turn them on and turn them off every day, and they can be modified to even trade just the morning or just the afternoon. I would suggest morning, but whatever, we can do different things with them. Alright, this is Thinkorswim. It's a platform we use for manually trading. And we're looking at the S&P 500 right now, the futures for the S&P 500. And this amount of time I have on the screen here is 10-year daily. So I believe that's a 10-year high, and if not an all-time high. So we were looking to possibly put in that was a potential lower low. Obviously didn't take out this pivot yet, but if this would have come up and come down, we would have been putting in a new lower highs and lower lows. But it's reversed on us, and it actually took out the old high. So this thing is still cooking higher. Actually had a hedge in place on spiders, and it got stopped out, and that's okay. We actually made money when it fell, and then took some off the table, came back up, bought in for a little bit more in case it did roll over, and it got stopped out. So just like when you go long a stock or an option, you do the same thing in reverse. You put your stops in place, and you just take your hits when you need to. And in the meantime, we got a lot more things that are bullish or long, and they're paying off really well right now. But you can see we're up here at this upward sloping trend line, which is the upper slope of this channel that I've got drawn in here. And at this point, it is continuing to just rise. And It's not doing it without any back and forth, so we'll just continue to evaluate what it really boils down to. The S&P today went up 1% or 52 points. The Dow went up 130 or 0.34%. The Russell went up 16.6 or 0.81%. And the Nasdaq went up 241 points, I think. I got to zoom that out a little bit. Yeah, or 1.5%. That is a pretty bullish move. What it tells me is a whole lot of people are trying to get short, and they just keep getting taken back behind the woodshed. Well, part of the reason I say that is because I've been in that position trying to call a top, and it's a hard thing to do. Even just like with my short play on spiders, I got stopped out. And the good news is I don't have very many plays that really showed that kind of a pattern to do it with. And it's still possible this could just roll over from here. But I actually think we still got a couple more days. Let's take a look at the Russell, which that's a clear breakout day. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And, there's nothing really crazy going on here. We're just in a bullish pattern. And this thing is mostly consolidating sideways, but it's also kind of going up at the same time. The Dow is the one that looks like it's having the most trouble. And if you see what I'm talking about here, this is kind of what I was looking for the S&P to do. We have changed polarity, but we haven't taken out this low. But we do have lower highs and lower lows. We just haven't taken out this pivot yet. But it sure looks like it's poised possibly to do so. And it can do whatever it wants from here. Price is above the 30 period moving average on the hourly chart over here, but it's got plenty of things going on here where this could go either way. All right, really we're gonna just have to watch that one. This is the one that looks like it's gonna go first if it's gonna go lower. We've broken this trend line right here to the downside, and you can see where we actually broke it, came back up to it twice now, and the question is it going to reject that trend line and go lower? The Nasdaq came back up to these recent highs from a couple days ago, and they look like they're rejecting off of it right now. But really, the trend looks like it's still pretty intact. We just have to see if it breaks this pivot to the upside or not. The transports are really just walking back and forth. Looks like a nice buy signal here. The only problem is that the tradable instrument for this is IYT. We've talked about this. It already ran away, which is really aggravating. These things usually look pretty similar to each other, and this should have been a tradable move today even. The transport's walking sideways like that looks like a great sideways trend that's got a buy signal. We could set some stops here, but since the IYT is you can't trade this instrument. Since the IYT is the exchange traded fund for it, there's nothing for me to do here. So TLT went down a little bit today, but it's been rising and it's all looking fine here. That's bonds. Oil went down a little bit today, even though it ended in a bullish candlestick. So there's really nothing to do here. arguably I could raise my stop to here. And gold, GLD, continues to go higher and without me. So, oh well. Let's look at Apple real quick and some of the FANG type stocks, the Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, and Google FANG. So this is clearly, we had an equal or equal high here. Double top is what they call this. And we rejected off of it and changed polarity to the downside, at least temporarily here. Realizing that, like what I talk about, this was all higher highs and higher lows until we had a corrective period here, higher highs and higher lows and a corrective period. This could continue on a weekly chart. I'm going to move this out, and you can see that if this actually bounces around this zone, the uptrend would still be intact. And that's kind of the point when I go to the daily chart and I say, well, we haven't taken this pivot out to the downside, so that is the pivot to watch. And it's actually where price generally comes back to this area before it takes back off again. So this should be a demand zone, and we're right in that neck of the woods. I'm not going to trade it off of that. I need better signals than that personally, but it's worth noting is kind of my point. We're also on the weekly chart here, we're at the other end of the two average true ranges, or two ATR, and it's the same thing. You go from one extreme to the next on the ATRs, and unless this thing just totally gets up and going to the downside, I'm expecting consolidation in this zone and possibly going higher. Again, not a tradable signal for me. Microsoft, MSFT, it's another one of these. It's a FANG type stock for me. It's one of the types of stocks that's kept this market moving higher. Technically a buy signal, but not really one that I want to chase. Tesla, it's rolled back to what could be a previous demand zone, and if we find demand down there, then this thing could finally get out of its way and move itself higher. Not a buy signal or anything for me. I'm just kind of pointing out what's possible here. This is a longer term downtrend though. Been going on for a while. And what else is there? Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, Google. On the weekly basis, this looks like it's experiencing the same type of a double top situation here. So that is not where the strength of the market is right now. And that's counter a lot of the way things have been here lately. I'm going to put in Intel real quick, INTC, because it is one that's been pretty strong. And it looks like it's got potential for some more upside. So not in a straight line probably, but hopefully you get the picture. Alright, that's enough for the stocks. Let's flip over to stockcharts.com. I'll put in the point and figure and type in bullish and go through these bullish percent indexes real quick. The industrials didn't move. The NYA went up 1.24%. The transports up 9.09%. That's a significant move. The NASDAQ went up 0.52%. The S&P 500 went up by 2.83% and tacked on a new X today. That's why it's green. The S&P 100 up by 1.52%. And then the NASDAQ 100 went up 4.92% today. If we get a breakout here, a point and figure of, a new column of X's, it won't take much to put in a new point and figure buy signal from here. And that could be significant. So I think this market still got some more legs. I think we might see some another one of these 500 point down days, or even a couple of them, which would just get everybody spooked and start pushing, trying to put in sell orders and all these things. And then, but I still think this thing under the hood looks like it's got some strength in it. And that's my review for today. So until next time, take care.